Certainly was a highlights reel throughout his amazing football career, but it the curtain came down with his retirement officially on Friday. We drill down, thanks to the Toolkit Depot's end of financial year sale is on now, and he's on the phone, and we appreciate him taking our call this morning. Gov, appreciate your time. Good morning to you.
Good morning, boys.
Hey,
Still
mate.
in bed, isn't he? You can tell. I can tell. I'm in bed.
I should be in bed. I should be sleeping until 11 o'clock and enjoying my life, but I'm on the phone to you two.
Thank you very much.
Thinking, Goss, the next show should be Simmo and Gov. That sounds good.
I couldn't do Goss like that.
No.
Thank you, Jeremy. Hey, how are you feeling? It's a couple of days on, and I'm talking about Friday. How are you feeling now that Friday, that line in the sand, that's it, footy's over, and you've shared it, and you spoke beautifully, mate. It was beautiful to watch. Just tell us how you're feeling a couple of days on.
A bit of everything, to be honest. Still, I was dreading saying bye and all that sort of stuff. I think, as a player, that's something you obviously know is going to happen at some stage in your career, but having to do it was another thing. So I'm sort of glad that I've done it, but also still it's just weird feeling that I don't actually have to go or do anything today. So it's but also I'm extremely overwhelmed with all the kind messages and words and everything everyone's been saying. So a bit of mixed emotions, Goss, for me at the moment.
I thought we could go through, we'll reverse engineer his career. So rather than start when, and there'll be stuff that I think we all know. So we don't need to go into the, who's your hardest defender or hardest forward you played on. But let's start with this year, Gov. So the biggest difference you've felt, obviously, once I left, new era, new rebuild. How did you see the club in the first 15 rounds this season? Where's the biggest step that the club's taken, you reckon?
Obviously, the change of coach is probably the biggest step, I think. Obviously, new game plan.
Yep.
We obviously had a couple of new coaches as well who come along. Since I'd been there, it's probably been the biggest change in that department, in the footy department directly. So that was a big change from there. And then obviously Minnie's game plan is a little bit different to yourself, Simmo. So that was the big, and that's a big change. Like having a new coach for starters is a big change, and then a couple of other coaches is significant change for what we've had for the last 10 years. So that was the biggest thing that I noticed straight off the bat, is just different wording, different ways of looking at the game a little bit differently, some younger boys playing different positions. So that's all massive change. And then over the 15-week period, I think that first sort of 5 or 6 weeks, we still were way off a lot of things. And then we've slowly started to fall into a little bit of a groove of, and it's not a win-loss thing, we're still a fair way away, but you could start to see a few things had been turning with a little bit of ball movement stuff. Our work rate around the ground's been really good, I thought, all year. But, we're still a little while off from where we want to be, but just having a new coach and new coaches was a huge, huge change, especially for me.
And what about the last 3 years previous to that? How have you handled, and I know how you've handled it, but just for the listeners out there, how have you handled, as a leader, dealing with the lack of success? Like, what's been the hardest part about that, outside of not winning? How have you found, from a leadership, what have you learnt from that space?
Yeah, that's been really hard to deal with. Obviously, we're competitors. We want to win every week, and it's not like we weren't trying to compete, but it makes it very hard mentally on how you're going individually, but then you go back into the team and how do we get in this position that we're in, and to handle it, you've really just got to get your own backyard right first to make sure that you're doing everything you can. And then from there, as a leader, you take a little bit more responsibility for the group, and then and when you go a bit further, you start taking a bit more responsibility for the club as a whole. So there's a lot of areas and a lot of things that we as a club need to get better at, but we're moving in the right direction, but there's still a lot that we need to get right. So And for me, viewing it all now, I feel a lot of it is some things that aren't directly correlated to the footy field. I feel like the boys are all training hard. We're all trying to develop and get better every week. There's a few little things here and there that would be great, and obviously looking to get some more players in is probably the first and foremost if I'm looking at it personally.
Okay. And let's get to the good times, because I think when you retire, you'll realise this in the future. You remember the good times and you forget all the hard times. So what's your biggest, obviously there's a premiership, but your fondest memory of that era of success, and we're talking probably from 14 to 19, but pre-COVID, I would have thought, Gov. What
Yep.
do you take away from a personal point of view from that experience that you'll remember forever?
I think I might have, obviously the grand final's the thing that bounces out straight away, but I felt like 2015 was
That was fun.
an amazing year as well. Yeah, it was so fun, and you could just feel that whatever we were doing, and to be honest, I don't think we all completely knew what we were doing.
No, including me.
But we sorry, mate.
Including me. I don't know what was going on.
But you could sort of start to feel and look around and go, hang on, there's something coming together here. And then we made the grand final. That year, and we were obviously young and naive, and we had no idea. We only ever played at the G once every 4 years. So, that was, I really liked 15. And then off the back of that, I think as much as we would love to win 15, the fact that we played in 15 helped set us up for 18. And gave us a bit more confidence going into that. And obviously 18 happened, and that whole year was amazing. But, I've got real good memories of fond ones, because I was just starting my career as well. That was my first year down back. And us back six started to play a bit of a different way, and it suited myself and suited all the boys down there, and it was a fun way. So, they're fond memories for sure, is building to what we ended up achieving as the grand final in 18, but I felt like it started in 15.
Great memories, and we've got some great texts from a lot of our listeners, Gov, who have texted in, and we're just going to quick fire questions for you in a moment. Since you've announced your retirement, whose message can you share with us? Some messages from past players or some stars of the game. And one other one I'm going to ask you about, and this is the only one I'm going to ask you about. Did you hear from Jake Melksham at all? He was involved in the last incident. And, there was the nudge under the ball, you got hit across the face. And everyone, when you went off and you came on, you stood on the boundary line and you were still coaching the staff. Everyone didn't think that would be your last game. But have you heard from him at all since Friday?
Yeah, no, mate. I heard from Melksham straight after the game. So he was extremely thoughtful and caring of what was going on. And, I've been chatting to him over the last few weeks, to be honest. No, he's been super, and I've made it pretty clear to him. It's not, the whole decision's not just Jake Melksham. This is a lot of things that have happened before that. So, he seemed like a ripper. Shoot me a message. Mate, to be honest, I'm going to be trying to get back to all my messages today. I was a bit overwhelmed over the weekend trying to enjoy myself a bit, but Harris Andrews, which was nice. I've always admired the way he's played, so that was nice. And then obviously past players and mates and people you didn't even know you had in your phone for a while there, Goss. I think I got a message from you, mate, which was nice.
It was to do with mini golf, I think. It was to do with mini golf on the mine side.
Hey.
But no, it's so many people, and that's why I love footy. That's what footy's about, is just all that camaraderie and mateship and friendships and everything like that. So it's just nice for everyone to shoot you a message and show that they've been watching you and enjoyed your career.
Yeah, well, that's what you miss the most, is probably the locker room.
Yeah.
What about the actual rules around, because I've seen it from afar weekly when they play against Goss. They, every now and then, probably once every 3 weeks, they tag him. And the way you tag Gov is you play behind and you get him underneath the ball and you try and get him out the back, because Gov plays proactive. And then this push in the back rule changed a few years ago, where you could put your hands in the back. Gov, do you think that rule needs to be addressed, mate, with the way that the natural players who want to win the ball are now handicapped a little bit because of that rule, or is that not something you thought about?
Yeah. I've been thinking about it for a while, but look, I'm not one for. I don't want everyone just to change rules every 2 seconds. I feel like there needs to be a bit of thought around rule changes. But I was brought up. I'm sure we were all brought up. The first person to the ball and the person in front always used to be protected, and they, get right away. Where it feels this day and age that you're almost better to be second. You're almost better to be second to the ball, because in marking contests you can get pushed out of the way if you're in the drop zone. If you're running, you don't want to tackle someone and get weeks. If you pick the ball up first, you're getting tackled holding the ball. So for me, it was, I don't want to scream rule changes, but I feel like we just got to protect the players that are really trying to attack the footy.
Yep.
People love seeing big marks. Everyone loves seeing everyone flush a footy off the ground. So let's just encourage the boys to attack the footy and just protect them.
Well spoken. Hey, really quick fire, and we're going to let you go, and we appreciate you taking our call today. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Quick ones. And there's one on what Simmo mentioned. Best player you've played with and against? Frank from Bunbury.
The best player I've played with, if I'm going holistically of everything, the best player is probably Bunga. And the connection I had with him, and obviously being down back. But I think the best I've actually stood on the field with, I'm talking about, me and Bunga had a great connection and all that stuff. But Liam Ryan's one of the best I've seen and played with. And what was the other one, Goss?
Yeah, and against someone you've lined up with and gone, wow, I'm in for a tough day.
Oh, mate, most of these big key forwards are tough for sure. Far out, I wouldn't be able to put my finger on. You'd have to go. Bud's always hard because they just kick it to him anywhere.
Yeah,
that's especially for me, because I like to come off him a bit as much as possible. But he just runs anywhere. They find him and he's the guy that would kick the goal from anywhere as well. So you go, where do I send this bloke to kick a goal from? He'd bang him from anywhere.
That was Barassa's fault, let's be honest. When he kicked 8 on us in round 1. Last one for me. What does Lob have to do to be part of the backline cartel? Is he there? Is he all Australian form, do you think, Lob? Is he one of you, or has he got a bit of work
Rory
to do?
Lob?
Yes. Where do you see him?
No, I see he's right around the mark for sure.
Okay.
And I think with all that stuff, I think a little bit, it's just more consistency is probably the argument for all Australians and all those sort of things. But mate, yeah, he's showed some massive games already since he's been down there, and he's got the super coach in Praddy down the back. If anyone can get him an All-Australian, it's probably him. But it's good to see him come back to the promised land where all the men are made down back.
Mate, I'll let you go. But just on behalf of all of us, thank you and obviously for me personally, you are massive part of my life and my career and what you've done for the footy club. I've got so many text messages from supporters who just wish you nothing but the best for your future. I've said this publicly, you're so well set up, not financially, but you've still got your mates you started with before you played. You got your current mates, and then you got your family. So well done on setting yourself up for the next phase of your life.
No, thanks, boys. Appreciate it. And thanks, Simmo, mate. Love you.
Good on you, mate.
There he is, Jeremy McGovern joining us. Good on you, mate. Appreciate it taking our call. So many texts. We can't get to them all. We'll try and read some quickly before we leave the show here. But it's 18 degrees in Perth today, 11.8. Jeremy McGovern, exclusive here on SENWA Breakfast.